to this beginner-friendly part 1 yoga for bellies. So yoga for bellies is going to be a 3-part series. It was based on a request, a very vague, general request, yoga for bellies. So in that we will have a couple focuses. We'll be focusing on the muscles in your belly region, so things to make them stronger, ways to stretch them out, breathing, and then we'll also be focusing on the digestive organs, which are also situated in your belly region. So we'll be doing some twisting to help wring out the toxins, and some different poses that'll help stimulate these organs. So it'll be a mix between those areas. So let's get started. Go ahead and meet me in child's pose on your mat. Bring your big toes together, open your knees out wide, walk your hands forward, let your forehead rest down towards the floor. If you prefer, you can stack your hands, resting your forehead there, maybe even stacking your arms. If you want to use props today, go for it. I'm not going to offer them. I want this to be a very beginner-friendly practice in that you don't need anything other than yourself to practice. You don't even need a mat. You can just practice on an open area of floor, outside, wherever you have the space. Dogs are optional, but they tend to make themselves a requirement. So anyways, coming to your child's pose, I invite you to start here because this is a great place to get comfortable in. It's a great place to settle into this time in this space. It's a great place to return to if you ever need to take a break, take a rest. If you ever lose your breath and you want to reconnect with it, lose your intention and you want to connect with that. Just in general, it's a great place to come to. So start to bring your focus to your breath. Bring your awareness to the movement of your diaphragm. With your inhales, it draws down. It causes your belly to inflate. With your exhales, it draws up, contracting your belly. Try to balance out your breath here. Find an equal count for your inhale and your exhale. Doesn't matter what number you go for. So use this time to set your rhythm for your practice. Allow your breath to be your guide to help set your pace. And then take note of what's going on in your head. Try setting aside any of those thoughts or feelings that may be trying to distract you right now. If you'd like to set an intention, feel free to do so. Maybe there's something resonating with you today. A word, a phrase, something, a poem. Maybe you just want to make yourself more open to listen to the messages of the universe. Take 2 more breaths here, and then meet me in tabletop, coming to hands and knees. Bring your wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips, long spine. Press down through all 10 finger pads. Spread your fingers out wide. Help spread your weight all the way around your hands. Then look back between your knees and hide your feet. You don't want to see your feet. Notice if you're starting to droop your head down, lift the back of your head up towards the ceiling without arching your neck. Starting from this strong foundation, we'll start to warm up your body through some spinal undulations. With an inhale, come into cow pose. Hammock your belly, reach your heart forward in between your biceps. Allow your gaze to move forward. Lift up your tailbone, so this is an arching of the back. It can be bigger, it can be smaller. It's whatever feels right to you. Make sure you're not sinking into your shoulders. Keep space between your shoulder blades. And using your next exhale, we're going to roll into cat pose, lifting your spine towards the ceiling. Let your head dangle down. Your gaze goes back by your thighs. Big or small rounding of your back. Again, whatever feels right to you. Now moving between the two poses with your breath, allowing your breath to be your guide. Inhale, hammocking your belly, coming into cow pose. Exhale, lifting your spine, rounding into cat. Take one more cow, one more cat, and then meet me back in tabletop. And we'll start to move your spine laterally. Take a deep breath in, center. Exhale, bring your right hip and shoulder towards each other. Left hip and shoulder away. Inhale back to center. Left hip and shoulder together. Right hip and shoulder away. And then go back and forth following your breath. Very slow, intentional movements. You can start to bend your elbows into it. Maybe moving your head a little bit more. Whatever feels right to you. If you've practiced with me before, I refer to this as our sassy cat. And take the next few moments to allow your body move in whatever way feels best to you. So maybe it's returning to those cow cats, continuing with your sassy cat, maybe some barrel rolls with your belly. Just allowing your body to warm up, noticing what you need. Take another moment or two, and then make your way back to center into your neutral tabletop. Excellent. So from here, check in with your wrists. If they're starting to feel pretty fatigued already, you may be putting too much weight into them. So really focus on pressing down through the tips of your fingers. Tuck your toes underneath, bring the balls of your feet to the floor. Take a deep breath in. With your exhale, lift your knees off the floor. See if you can bring your shins parallel with the mat. Try not to dip your head down. Lift the back of your head up towards the ceiling without arching your neck. So firing up your abdominal muscles here. Maybe feeling some warmth through other areas, through your thighs, through your arms. Try to keep that pace in your breath. Another deep breath in, and a full breath out. Go ahead and release your knees down, big toes together, and come back into your child's pose. Option to bring your knees together, allowing your back to round, or widen your knees, allowing for more of a hip stretch. 2 breaths here, in through your nose, and out through your nose. When you come to your 3rd breath, meet me back in tabletop. Do a little bit more abdominal work here on our hands and knees. So from here, inhale, stretch your right foot back. Start with your toes down, resting the ball of your foot on the floor. Press through your heel and maybe shift forward and back a little bit just to help wake up your legs. And coming back to stillness. From here, you're going to lift your heel up, see if you can get it in line with your hip. Notice if your belly starts to hammock down, navel towards your spine. Notice if your toes start to turn sideways, turn them back down. You're trying to keep your right hip in the same plane as your left. So just like in your tabletop, neck is neutral, spine is long. Space between your shoulder blades, not starting to sink. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, point your toes, draw your knee in towards your chest, round your back, knee to nose. Inhale, extend, flex your foot, toes down. Exhale, knee to nose. And following your own breath, we'll go a few more times. Inhale for length. Exhale to bring it in. And one more here. Draw it in, squeeze. See if you can bring your thigh up closer to your belly, nose closer towards your knee. With your next inhale, stretch your leg out long. And exhale, release your knee down. Coming back to your tabletop. If there's any movements here that you'd like to take, go ahead. Maybe it's time to give those wrists a little bit of rest. Go ahead and shake them out, swirl them out, whatever feels good to you here. And then meet me back in tabletop. Getting ready for the other side. Use an inhale, stretch your left leg out behind you. Toes down, press through your heel, add a little movement if you'd like. Start to wake up the back side of your other leg. And then coming back to stillness if you're wiggling around. Go ahead and lift your heel up in line with your hip. Check in with your hips, make sure they're on the same plane. If your toes are pointing off to the left, your left hip is probably a little too high, so turn them down. Drop that left hip in line with the right. Another inhale here. Exhale, knee to nose. Again, just like the other side, moving with your breath, allowing your own breath to set your pace. One more here. And bring it in. Squeeze your thigh up. See if you can reach your nose a little closer to your knee. Breathe. Inhale, stretch your leg out long. And exhale, release. Excellent. So from here, we'll take a puppy pose. Stretch out your back, stretch out your belly. Come down to your elbows. So this will be level 1. Since this is a beginner-friendly class, we're not going to go fully into the expression of the pose. So let your heart reach down towards the floor. Let your forehead reach down towards the floor. Totally okay if they don't touch. Good. So from here, you're going to lean forward onto your belly. We're going to come right into a Sphinx pose. So bringing your elbows underneath your shoulders. Reach your heart forward. So if you bring your hands towards opposite arms, you should be able to graze the outside of your arm. If you can't really touch, or if you can grab really well, you're either too far or too close. So you also want to make sure you're not back too far, forward too far. So try to line up right underneath your shoulders. Just like when you're in your tabletop, press your hands down, finger pads down. You can have your feet closer together or wider apart if your back is feeling a little cranky today. Maybe more space would feel better. Go ahead and inhale, reach your heart forward, stretch through your chest, stretch through your upper belly. Just keep on breathing. And then from here, tuck your toes underneath, balls of your feet come to the floor. Using an inhale, lift your knees, lift your thighs, lift your hips, coming up into a dolphin plank. If this is too much, you can always bring your knees down. No matter what variation you're in, you want a nice long line of energy in between your knees and your shoulders. So making sure your hips don't droop down or stick up. With your next exhale, lower those hips down. Walk your hands towards your body, send your hips back. Come back into your child's pose. Take 3 breaths here. Tune back into your breath, back into your intention. Maybe take a quick sip of water. And from your child's pose, start to walk your hands back out. We're going to come right into a regular plank this time. So again, knees can be down, or you can come up to the balls of your feet. Straight line of energy. So if you're down on your knees, try untucking your toes. With each exhale, squeeze your navel in towards your spine. If you're down on your knees, tuck your toes underneath, lift up to lift your knees off the floor, and then pick your hips up, push them back, bend your knees as much as you need to, and start to pedal out through your knees. So coming into your downward facing dog. You want to try not to walk your hands and feet closer together. So when you're in plank, that's how much space you want to work on having in between your hands and feet in downward facing dog. It's okay to bend your knees, it's okay to lift your heels. So in your downward facing dog, you want to focus more on lengthening your spine than having your legs straight or your heels touch. So you can bend those knees as much as you'd like. Think about reaching your sits bones towards the wall behind you. Alright, time to work those abs a little bit more. Inhale, gaze forward, shift forward to plank. Exhale, navel towards your spine, lift your hips, push them back, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale to down dog. So this will be your pattern, moving with your breath. If this is a bit much for you, maybe you just hang tight in your plank for a few breaths. Remember, child's pose is there for you anytime you like it. We'll take 2 more rounds. I threw in a third one. So meeting back in down dog. Inhale, gaze forward to your hands. Walk your feet up to your hands. Keep those knees bent as much as you'd like. Bend your knees enough that you can rest your belly on your thighs. Maybe that feels good to you. Let your head dangle down, arms dangle down. You can grab onto opposite elbows if you'd like. Coming into your ragdoll. Then when you're ready, let your arms dangle down. Using your inhale, slowly roll your spine up, making your way to standing. Coming to your mountain pose, stand tall. Bring your big toes to touch, little space between your heels. Close your eyes, tune back into your breath. Go ahead and flutter your eyes open and take a quarter turn on your mat so you're facing the long edge. Separate your feet about 4 feet apart from each other. Turn your left toes towards the short edge of your mat, bend into your left knee. Turn your right toes in slightly, enough where it feels right in your ankle. So it can be closer to parallel, it can be closer to pointing forward depending on how your foot feels today. Keep your hips turning sideways, shoulders turning sideways. Gaze turns over the left shoulder. Open your arms out wide, warrior two. Keep bending into your left knee. Make sure it doesn't go past your ankle though, so not too far. And let's take a stretch for your belly. Inhale, reach your left fingertips forward. Exhale, flip your palm, reach your hand up. Keep reaching this hand away from your armpit. Get that stretch through your side body. Try to keep your lower body completely still here. That left knee may try to straighten out. Don't do that. We'll get to that in a little bit. And keep breathing. For the next inhale, come back to your warrior two. You're going to exhale into a side angle. Bend your left elbow. Gently rest your forearm on your thigh. Don't collapse into it. You're using your abdominal muscles to help hold you up. Stretch your right arm up towards the ceiling. So again, lower body stays completely still as best as you can. You're not collapsing into this forearm. You could even take your arm off your thigh if you're tempted to lean into it. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. So we'll go through this 2 more times. Lower body stays still. Movement is coming from your upper body, using those core muscles. And then meeting me back in your warrior two. From here, you're going to straighten out your left leg, preparing for a triangle pose. So a triangle pose, you want to make sure you don't lock out your joints, especially that left knee. You want to keep your arms long, and you want to make sure you don't start to move, bow forward with this right shoulder. So not twisting into your pose. So we'll start with just a regular triangle pose. From here, inhale, shift your fingertips forward, just like you did for preparing for your peaceful warrior. Then exhale, start to reach your right hand up towards the ceiling, tilting, not twisting. So if you're near a wall, you can even back yourself up and keep pressing this right shoulder against the wall to make sure you don't start to rotate through your spine. So just another option there. You can have your gaze towards the floor for more stability, towards the ceiling for more challenge, or anywhere in between. Excellent. So from here, we're going to add a little more ab work. Look up towards your hand if you can. Inhale, reach your right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, left fingertips down towards your ankle. Inhale, right hand up. Exhale, left hand down. So doing these little pulses here, slow, controlled movements. Doesn't matter what range of motion you have here. Maybe your pulses are so tiny, I wouldn't be able to tell you're doing it, but if you can tell you're working, that's totally fine. Let's take one more down, one more up, lift the arms out wide, relax those hands down, turn your toes so you're in a wide leg stance here. Let's roll out the shoulders. Maybe twist through the shoulders a little bit, twist through the abs. And we'll go to the other side. So resetting your feet in case they moved around on you, about 4 feet in between your feet. Turn your right toes towards the short edge of your mat, bend into your knee, open your arms out wide, coming to your warrior two. So just take the time to set up your pose. There's no need to rush, there's nothing else to do, nowhere else to go. Just be here. Be here with your practice, with your breath. And then getting ready for that peaceful warrior. Inhale, reach your right fingertips forward, flip your palm, exhale, scoop it up. Keep reaching up through your right hand. Feel that stretch through the right side of your abs. Another deep breath in and out. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale into that side angle. So bending the right elbow, forearm to the thigh, gently touching. Stretch your left arm up. Now preparing to flow with your breath. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Again, allowing your own breath to be your guide. Set your pace. Try to keep that lower body super still. Couple more breaths here. And meet me back in warrior two. Getting ready for that triangle on the other side. Straighten out your right leg. Check in that you're not locking out your knee. Inhale, reach with your right fingertips. Exhale, tilt, reach your left hand up this time. And whether or not you have the wall there, pretend you're pressing your left shoulder back into it to help keep your spine just turning, this leaning sideways rather than rotating. And inhale, reach your left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, right fingertips towards your ankle. Moving with your breath. Again, doesn't matter what range of motion you have, how far down you can reach with your right hand. Totally not a thing right now. A couple more pulses. Inhale up to warrior two, bend your knee, and release. Go ahead and shake out those shoulders, turn your toes so you're facing the long edge of the mat. Maybe grab another little sip of water. And then we're going to meet back in the wide leg stance, about 4 feet in between your feet, more or less, if you'd like. So option here, the most intensity is going to be to have your arms out. The least intensity is going to be to have your hands on your hips. So yogi's choice here. I'm going to start with hands on the hips. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hinge forward halfway. Keep at least a micro bend in your knees. If you need to bend them more generously, go for it. Allow your hips to shift backwards slightly, although you're not sitting back. So if you'd like to add that little bit more resistance, open your arms out wide. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, reach your right fingertips down towards the floor, left fingertips up. Try not to shift your weight into your left hip. Inhale back to center. Exhale, left down, right up. Inhale, center. And going back and forth, remember you can have your hands on your hips, that's fine too. We'll do one more with the right, one more with the left. Meet me back in center. And fold forward. Release both hands down. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Make contact with the floor. Allow your upper body to release. Try to let go of any effort here. From here, bring your chest halfway up, hands onto the floor underneath your shoulders. Take a deep breath in and out. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale. Good. Bring your feet together and we're going to go back down onto the floor. Coming to hands and knees. So we're going to take a side plank and we're going to start with a modified. If you would like to go into a fuller expression of your side plank, go for it. Again, this is beginner friendly video, so I'm just going to stick with a side plank today. Keep your left knee down, start to turn your toes behind you. You're going to bring your left hand underneath your shoulder, stretch your right leg out. Reach your right arm up overhead. Inhale here, exhale, you're going to thread your right arm underneath your left. Inhale back up. Exhale, thread. Moving with your breath. Again, if you want to do this from your regular side plank, go for it. Let's take two more. Back to your side plank. And exhale, release. Come back to your tabletop. We'll go to the other side. I don't like having my back to you, so I'm going to turn around here. So right knee stays on the floor. Turn your toes off to the side. Right hand underneath your shoulder. Stretch your left leg long. Stretch your left arm up. Deep breath in. Exhale, thread it under. Same thing as the other side. If you're not really feeling much of a challenge here, try stretching out that right leg coming into your regular side plank. Remember, your breath is your rhythm. Your breath guides you through this practice. It doesn't matter how fast or slow I move. It doesn't matter how fast or slow you went last time you were on your mat. Notice how you're breathing now. And allow that to be your rhythm for this practice. Let's take two more. Move back to your side plank. And exhale, release back down to your tabletop. Excellent. So from your tabletop, we're just going to flip around and come to seated. And it would not be a belly class if we didn't do a little boat pose. My mat's sliding. Let's slide that back. So, boat pose. Your anchored boat is going to have your hands behind you, fingertips point towards your heels. Your chest is lifted, so make sure you're not rounding. Make sure you stay on your sits bones. You don't roll back onto your tailbone. And from here, try lifting up your right foot. See if you can get your ankle in line with your knee. Now bring your right foot down. Same thing with the left. Try lifting up your left foot. And bring your right foot up to meet your left. If this is too much, go back down to one foot at a time. If you'd like to unanchor your boat, try stretching your arms out towards your feet. Make sure you're not starting to roll back onto your tailbone. Keep your chest lifted. Make sure you're still breathing, not holding your breath. And from from here, you're going to release, bring the soles of your feet together, feet to the floor, knees come wide, and bow your forehead towards your toes. Doesn't matter how much space is between your heels and your body, adjust so it feels right to you. And we'll go up one more time. Come on up, prepare. Remember, you can anchor or you can start right off with your arms extended. Lift up those feet, find your balance on your sits bones, lift up your chest. If you'd like to play around a little bit here, maybe you try extending your left leg straight and bending your knee back in and your right leg. And maybe you switch between the two, kind of a bicycle motion. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Same thing as before. Feet together, knees wide, bow forward. Next inhale, come back upright. Stretch your legs out long. Coming to staff pose. Allow your sits bones to make connection with the mat beneath you. If you need to move the fleshy part of your seat out of the way, go ahead. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, reach forward, 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 and then melt down. So your seated forward fold is really good for your digestive system. That helps stimulate the kidneys, your liver, adds a little compression to your belly. With your next inhale, walk your hands towards your body, come upright. And exhale, relax. Alright, we're going to flip on over to our bellies. Give our bellies a little bit more stretch before we put in some more work. So this is going to feel a little similar to the Sphinx pose that we did earlier. This will be your option. If what I offer you is too much, come back to your Sphinx pose. So bring your forehead down to the floor, hands back by your chest. And then inhale, lift your chin and chest off the mat, press your hands into the mat, keep reaching your heart forward, keep your lower belly on the floor. So coming into your cobra pose. You're not extending your arms completely, you're not locking out your arms. Remember, lower belly is still down on the floor. So this one is a stretch for the belly and the chest, but also helps strengthen your back, which is super important. Your lower back muscles are part of your core. So when people talk about working your core, it can be thought of to think of your abs, your obliques, those areas, but you don't always think about including your back. So it's super important to do that. With your next exhale, go ahead and lower down. Take a deep breath in, and a full breath out. Inhale, come back up to your cobra. If you'd like to come into upward facing dog, straighten your arms without locking your elbows. Lift your thighs up off the mat. Tops of your feet are resting on the floor. And lower back down with your exhale. Stretch your arms out long, point your toes. Rest either cheek on the mat, full body stretch, belly down. And release. And flip on over to your back. If you're close to the wall, you want to move away a little bit. You're going to want some space off to the side. So from here, come into a reverse tabletop. Knees above your hips. Try to keep your heels in line with your knees. They may try to wander up or tuck in. And try flexing your feet. Open your arms out wide, or you can come into cactus arms. Take a deep breath in. With an exhale, start to lower your knees towards the floor to the right. Stop about 3 inches above the floor. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, over to the left, hover 3 inches. Inhale, back up. Exhale, back to the right, 2 inches hover this time. Inhale, back up. And over to the left and hover 2 inches. Inhale, back up. And over to the right, back to 3 inches. Inhale, back up. Over to the left, 3 inches. Inhale, back up. Exhale, draw your knees towards your chest. Wrap your hands around your shins, your thighs, whatever is accessible. Give yourself a squeeze. It may feel nice to rock your knees from side to side, maybe even reach your forehead towards your knees. Whatever feels good to you. So we'll do that reclined twist and hover one more time. Same pattern, 3 inches, 2 inches, 3 inches. Or as close to that as you can get. So starting in your reverse tabletop. Take a deep breath in. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Go a little deeper, a little closer to the floor. Inhale up. Over to the left. Inhale up. And over to the right one more time. Pause. Hover for 3, 2, 1. Inhale back up and over to the left. Find that hover point. Pause. 3, 2, 1. Inhale back up. Exhale, knees towards your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Rock it out if you'd like. And coming to center, lower your feet to the floor. We're going to set up as if you were doing a regular bridge, but we're going to do some crazy bridge things. So heels are on the floor, toes are on the floor. You want to reach your arms down and try to graze your heels. That's how close you're working towards getting your heels. If they're not close to that today, that's fine. Give yourself as much space as you need. But work on bringing your heels closer to your body. Knees are straight above the hips. If you like using blocks, this would be a good time to squeeze one between your thighs. And here you're going to interlace your fingers. Bring your hands behind your head. Keep your elbows open wide. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lift your hips up into a bridge. Inhale, slowly lower down. Exhale, knees and nose come together. Crunch. Elbows wide, make sure they don't come in. Inhale, lower. Exhale, bridge. Inhale, lower. Exhale, crunch. And keep going with this pattern. Allow your breath to guide you. Keep your movements under control. We'll go through one more full rotation. So one more bridge, one more crunch, and then meet me on your back. Excellent. Go ahead and release your hands. Bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees come wide. So coming into a similar shape that we did after our boat pose, but this time you're laying on your back. Allow yourself as much or as little space as you'd like between your heels and your body. You're going to bring your hands palms up and place them on your inner thighs. So reach your fingertips down towards your heels. And then bring your backs of your hands off of your thighs. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lift your shoulders up off the floor. Inhale, slowly release, use control. Exhale, lift, reach your fingertips towards the wall. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. And again, following your own breath. We'll take a few more. Rest when you need to. And go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and our last one. Hold at the top. Keep reaching those shoulders off the floor. Keep breathing. See if you can press your lower back down into the floor a little bit more. See if you can reach your navel through your spine all the way down to your mat. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Next inhale, slowly release back down. Lift your arms up overhead. Stretch your legs out long. Full body stretch. And release. And bend your knees again, just like you did in bridge, but this time walk your feet to the outer edges of your mat. Let your knees fall in together. Arms can come wide or cactus arms. Deep breath in. Exhale, let your knees knock over to the right so your legs are staggered. Try to keep that right or left hip down on the floor. It may try to pop up on you. Try to keep it down. You can adjust your feet here if they want to come closer to your body, further away, closer together, further away from each other. Any of those variations that you'd like. So by staggering our legs in this variation of a twist, it helps stretch through the psoas, which is up here in your belly region, goes down through your hip. Very important muscle. Doesn't get nearly enough love. And try to relax your lower body here. If you'd like a little bit more resistance, you can rest your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Don't push down, just let the weight of your leg do the work. Again, try to keep that left hip down on the floor. Tune back into your breath. Notice the movement of your diaphragm with each inhale and each exhale. If you have your ankle crossed over your thigh, uncross it, bring your foot back down to the floor. Use an inhale, come back to that starting position. Feet are wide, knees fall together. Realign, reset. And when you're ready, use an exhale, allow your knees to knock off to the left. Again, try and keep that opposite hip down, so right hip this time tries to pop up, don't let it. Adjust your feet as needed. Try to let go of any engagement of your lower body. If you'd like that little extra resistance, left ankle on top of your right thigh. The weight of your leg does the work. Gravity is helping, time is helping. Your only job is to relax here. Go ahead and take your left ankle off of your thigh. Bring your foot back to the floor. Inhale, knees back up and together. Reset, realign. And this time we'll just move with our breath. So exhale, allowing your knees to fall off to the side, inhaling back to center, and exhaling over to the other side. So get back and forth a few times. Take one more at each side, and come back to center. Hug your knees in towards your chest, give yourself a squeeze. And keep your right knee bent. Stretch your left leg out long. Interlace your fingers around your knee, shin, thigh, whatever is accessible. Flex both feet. So wind reliever pose. With an exhale, draw your navel in, or your knee in towards your navel so there's a little compression in your lower belly. Over on the right side. This can help relieve tension in your lower back. It's a little massage for your digestive organs when it's on the right side. Do the same thing on the other side in a few moments. Try to keep your upper body relaxed. Just breathe. With each inhale, feel your belly press into your thigh. With each exhale, feel it draw away. With your next inhale, release your squeeze. Keep your knee bent. Open out your right arm. Left hand comes to the outside of your thigh. Using an exhale, draw your knee across your body, twisting to the left. Tuck your left hip under your right. Keep both shoulders down on the mat. If your right shoulder starts to come up, you may be pushing a little too hard with your lower body. Bring your knee up a little higher. Again, twisting to help wring out any toxins. This is also really good for your low back, your spine, your outer hips, your glutes. Nice opening of the chest. It's a very effective posture that you don't have to use very much effort in. With your next inhale, come back onto your back, hips into center. Squeeze both thighs towards your belly. And then release your right leg down, left knee stays bent, flex both feet. Grab onto whatever is accessible, and exhale, knee towards your navel, a little compression in the lower left belly this time. With your next inhale, release your squeeze, but keep your knee bent. The left arm opens out, right hand to the outside of your thigh. Exhale, knee goes across your body, twisting to the right. Tuck your hip underneath. Let both shoulders rest on the floor. Remember, this top knee, your left knee, can come up as high as you need to help keep that left shoulder down on the floor. Focus on letting go of any effort you may be using right now. So notice areas that you may be tensing, squeezing, tightening. Try to let go with every exhale. With your next inhale, roll back onto your back, hips into center. Draw your knees towards your chest, nose towards your knees. Squeeze yourself into a little ball. And inhale, stretch out, take as much space as you can. And release. Coming into your final relaxation, Shavasana, corpse pose. Bring your feet towards the edges of the mat, allow your toes to fall away from each other, arms come beside your body, about 45 degrees, palms up. Close your eyes. Breathe naturally. Take a scan of your body here. Relax your toes, feet, ankles. Relax your calves, shins, knees and thighs. Relax your hips, buttocks, abdomen and chest. Relax your low back, middle back, upper back and shoulders. Relax your upper arms, elbows, forearms. Relax your wrists, your hands, and your fingers. Relax your neck. Relax your head. If there's any area of your body not totally relaxed right now, inhale, send your awareness, your energy, your prana there. And as you exhale, encourage it to relax and let go. You can do this as many times as you'd like. Relax your mind. Notice any thoughts or feelings bubbling around in your head. If you find anything you don't need to take with you today, just inhale, notice that it's there. And exhale, encourage it to move on and let go. You can do this as many times as you'd like. Eventually, allow yourself to lie here still and relaxed, in body and mind, for a few more moments. Start to bring your awareness back to your mat. Start to bring your awareness back to your body. Bring some gentle movement to your body, wiggling your toes, fingers, ankles, and wrists. Rock your head from side to side. Stretch your arms out long. Give your body whatever gentle movements it would like to help reawaken. As you're ready, draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself one more hug here. And roll over onto the right side of your body. Use your arm as a pillow. Go into the fetal position. Take a moment to gently ease yourself back into your day. And as you're ready, press yourself upright. Come to seated, however that is comfortable for you. Try to keep your eyes closed. Sit with a tall spine. Using your next inhale, stretch your arms overhead. And exhale, bring your palms together. Draw your thumbs down to your heart. With your inhale, lift the corners of your mouth and smile. Thank yourselves for stepping on your mat today and spending a little extra time, energy, and love on you. Namaste.